From a towering figure striding across a Canadian mountain ridge, to an unsettling recording of a possible Sierra Bigfoot deep in the Nevada wood, and even the nightmare fuel of a housefire demon, these are some of the most unsettling moments ever captured on camera. Stick around. When talking about Bigfoot and Sasquatch, we can't forget the elusive beast of California's Sierra Nevada mountains, the Sierra Bigfoot. The figure in the footage appears covered in brownish fur, and when compared to the nearby trees, its height is staggering. It walks upright, bipedal, with a distinctly humanoid posture, matching classic descriptions of Bigfoot. But here's why it's often linked specifically to the Sierra Bigfoot, the unsettling sounds echoing in the background. This creature is said to be notorious for its eerie vocalizations, a chilling trademark that sets it apart from typical Bigfoot encounters. Now, whether this video is authentic or not is still debated. It was uploaded back in 2008, long before advanced editing software could easily produce a seamless, pixel-perfect figure moving naturally through a forest scene. Could it have been a person in a costume? Possibly, but pulling off a suit that large, moving with such fluidity and ease, would have been no small task. If the footage is genuine, then it may leave us with only one explanation. This was a real sighting of the Sierra Bigfoot. And if that's true, maybe it's finally time we start recognizing these beings as more than myths, perhaps as hidden inhabitants of our forests. This next footage comes from two sisters who were simply trying to sleep in their bedroom. One of them, Anna, was suddenly jolted awake by strange noises coming from the corner of the room. She quickly woke her sister, and when they began recording, the internet was left with pure nightmare fuel. From their storeroom, an upside-down figure can be seen peeking out, silently watching them. It may well have been the source of those eerie noises. But here's the question that shook everyone online. What in the world was that thing? Many tried to explain it away, insisting it must just be a doll hanging there. But if you watch closely from the start, you can see its hair swaying slightly, almost like it tilted its head to peek. On top of that, the figure's eyes seem to reflect light, something normal human eyes simply don't do. So if it wasn't a doll and it wasn't a human, then what exactly was staring back at them that night? One thing's for sure, after seeing this, sleeping peacefully with the bedroom door open might never feel the same again. When it comes to Bigfoot encounters, few match the credibility of the Rocky Mountain Sasquatch organization. But the video they shared last month shook the internet to its core. Sent in by a hiker in Alberta's Canmore Woods, it shows something unusual moving across a distant mountain ridge, caught just in time on camera. The hiker was convinced that what he captured was indeed a Bigfoot, and interestingly, he wasn't alone. Around the same time, multiple witnesses from different areas reported seeing the very same thing. The only catch is the distance, combined with the mountain's shadow, makes it hard to say with absolute certainty. This next video comes from a popular Facebook Bigfoot sightings page, which also has a strong presence on other platforms like YouTube. While their reputation in the Bigfoot community was already solid, What they uploaded on May 1st, 2017, really put them on the map. The footage was submitted by one of their dedicated viewers, a self-described Bigfoot researcher. During one of his field ventures, he managed to capture what appears to be a black, bipedal figure roaming through the woods in that classic, elusive Bigfoot manner. Judging by its size, it didn't appear to be massive, which led many to speculate it could be a juvenile Bigfoot. Still, all the other details lined up perfectly with Bigfoot descriptions. According to the group, they even shared this footage with experts, and time again, the responses lean toward this being a genuine sighting. Now, if you ask me, I'm a little more skeptical, and here's why. The figure doesn't quite match the usual size associated with Bigfoot. Yes, it could be a juvenile, but look closely. The way its arms bend, the shape of its back, and even its gait, it all feels a bit too human-like, almost as if someone threw on a suit just for the camera. But then again, I could be wrong. Maybe this really was a juvenile, still learning its way through the forest. The world often falls into two categories: those who believe in extraterrestrial life and those who don't. But this next video, captured by two friends, might just shock both sides. It comes from a YouTube channel called The Polished Knob, uploaded on June 7th, 2011, when they stumbled upon something truly strange in a nearby field.
What do you want? No, it ran away. Fuck.
Using a night vision camera, they managed to record what appeared to be an alien figure peeking out from the overgrowth. It had the signature traits we often hear about: large reflective eyes, a small head, and a curious gaze fixed directly at the camera's light. After a few moments, the figure disappeared back into the darkness, while the cameraman and his friends hesitantly pressed forward. In the footage, you can clearly hear the fear and nervous excitement in their voices as they attempt to communicate with whatever it was. But the story didn't end there. The next morning, the cameraman went back to check his field traps, only to discover that one had been triggered. What startled him most was that the trap was set at a specific height, meaning whatever set it off wasn't small at all. It had to be tall, possibly human-sized or larger.
Holy crap.
Keep in mind, this video is over 14 years old. Back then, editing something this clean, with flawless integration into night vision footage, was extremely difficult. Add to that the physical evidence of the triggered trap, and suddenly what these guys encountered that night feels a lot harder to dismiss. So the real question is, did they actually capture an extraterrestrial being on camera? Or is it just another unexplained mystery lost to the night? Exploring haunted places might sound like a fun, adventurous idea, but sometimes it can turn into your worst nightmare. And one Japanese explorer learned that the hard way. While venturing deep into the woods, he noticed something strange, what looked like a tree root twitching on its own. Startled, he bolted, but the nightmare didn't end there. As he calmed himself and kept filming, his camera suddenly captured what appeared to be a humanoid figure moving in the distance. The moment he realized what he'd seen, He sprinted out of there for his life. Now, when something creepy comes out of a Japanese forest, I tend to believe it. Those woods are infamous for their eerie legends and haunted past, and in this case, it almost seemed like the forest itself had come alive. The first root twitch looked like part of a tree, but by the end, the figure resembled a humanoid form, as if the trunk had transformed into something walking. After this encounter, I doubt this guy will ever set foot in a haunted spot again, especially not a forest. A TikTok creator, best known for her surfing content, uploaded what seemed like just another casual video from one of her ocean trips, but her viewers were left completely stunned by what she showed them. While she was taking screenshots from her footage, she noticed something strange lurking in the background. At first glance, it looked normal, but on closer inspection, it was something that absolutely shouldn't have been there.
I look over to the side because I'm trying to see the dolphin, and...
What on earth was that? It definitely doesn't resemble any dolphin we know. Some argue it could simply be the front of a dolphin breaking the surface. But let me tell you, dolphins don't move like that. And when they do show their front, it never looks like this. The surfer herself believes it might have been a mermaid. And honestly, that theory isn't far-fetched. Throughout folklore, mermaids have often been described as swimming alongside dolphins, using them as protection, distracting fishermen, and keeping predators at bay. But here's the unsettling part. If you look closely, the figure even appears to have shoulders, and last time I checked, dolphins don't have those. So if it truly was a mermaid, this surfer might have been much closer to danger than she realized. Really creepy to think about. For some, Reddit is a place to find solutions to impossible problems, but for people like us, it's a treasure trove of mysteries and strangeness. And this next video, uploaded 2 years ago by a user named Blonde in the Woods, is a perfect example. The footage comes from a home security camera and shows what looks like the shadow of a child moving across the stairs. Before slipping back into a room, it definitely appears to be a figure, but the real question is, was it human or something else entirely? Commenters went wild with speculation. Some swore it was a ghostly entity, while others leaned on the skeptical side. Looking closely, you can see a child's book and bag hanging under the stairs, which does suggest a kid lives there. On the other hand, anyone familiar with infrared security cameras knows they glitch all the time. These cameras can make the ordinary look paranormal. You get ghost orbs, which are really just bugs, translucent figures, even those weird skyfish artifacts. I can vouch for that myself. I have 3 IR cameras around my own house, and I constantly see bizarre things that look unexplainable at first glance. Still, here's the creepy part. The homeowner swore up and down that no one was home when the video was recorded. And if we take their word for it, then what exactly did the camera capture that night? What if a forgotten photograph from the 1800s captured something lurking in the dark that was never meant to be seen? In April 2014, a story resurfaced about a strange photograph allegedly taken in 1895 by amateur spelunker and photographer Orrin Jeffries inside Grand Caverns, southwestern Virginia. Jeffries had been experimenting with long exposures in complete cave darkness, hoping to capture images without artificial light. During one attempt, he heard movement from deeper within the cave. Startled, he triggered one of his blitzlight flashes and claimed to see 3 humanoid figures staring at him. Terrified, he fled the cave and didn't return until days later with 3 companions to retrieve his homemade box camera. When the film was developed, it revealed the now infamous image, believed by some to show a family of Bigfoots in the shadows of the cavern. Honestly, this photo gives me chills. It feels way too detailed to just dismiss as a trick of the light. The fact it was taken in 1895, long before modern editing, makes it even harder to ignore. To me, it looks less like coincidence and more like a genuine glimpse of something unknown. If you think you've seen every kind of backyard visitor, this eerie 2 a.m. footage might just change your mind. Around 2 a.m., a man was stunned when his CCTV captured a strange animal wandering through his backyard. The footage, later shared on social media, shows a 4-legged creature with a long tail that drags along the ground, making it difficult to identify. While its body resembles a dog, the unusual tail sparked debate online. Some speculated it could be the legendary chupacabra, a creature rooted in Latin American folklore. Others suggested it might be a Tasmanian tiger or thylacine, an animal declared extinct more than 80 years ago. The mystery remains unsolved, leaving viewers divided over what exactly was caught on camera. At first glance, I'd say it could easily be some strange dog, or even a large stray cat with an oddly long tail, but the way it feels doesn't quite match either. The dragging tail really stands out, and that's what makes me hesitate to brush it off as something ordinary. While it sounds unbelievable, I can't fully dismiss the possibility that this could be a surviving Tasmanian tiger. This homeowner was recording a neighbor's house on fire, but what truly shocked him wasn't the blaze itself, it was what he caught lurking inside. Right before the house blew up, a face appeared in the flames and then vanished. There was clearly something standing there, staring directly at the camera, and the way it locked eyes was chilling, almost inhuman. Normally, when videos like this go viral, skeptics flood the comments, but after scrolling through them for nearly half an hour, I couldn't find a single one, and honestly, I get why. The face didn't look human, the features were off, and the fact that it stood calmly, watching, while the entire house burned around it. That's the stuff of nightmares. If I were the neighbor witnessing this, I'd be putting my house up for sale and moving out the next morning. No second thoughts. Trail cameras are fascinating. They give us a glimpse into the hidden life of the forest that we'd never be able to see otherwise. But sometimes their 24/7 surveillance captures something we were never meant to witness. In November 2012, a wildlife trail camera in northwest Pennsylvania allegedly snapped a photo that quickly went viral online. The camera was set up to monitor deer, and at first, the image looked ordinary, just a deer standing in front of the lens. But on closer inspection, people noticed something chilling lurking in the background. The infrared camera, capable of detecting things invisible to the human eye, had captured what appeared to be a semi-transparent figure crouching near the deer. Some even suggested the animals didn't react because the entity might have been cloaked. The eerie photo, shared by ADG-UK, Alien Disclosure Group UK, shows the figure in a posture that almost looks like it's laughing, or even trying to communicate. The sighting is believed to have taken place somewhere in the Quinns or Allegheny National Forest. While some viewers argue it looks like an alien, others have compared it to a zombie, or perhaps something even stranger. The mystery has never been solved, and to this day, the image continues to spark debate. Now, as I've mentioned before, infrared cameras can sometimes create odd glitches, so part of me wants to believe this was just a technical anomaly. But the figure's shape and deliberate posture feel too intentional to dismiss, and honestly, the more I stare at it, the more I can't shake the feeling that this might just be an alien caught on camera. When it comes to urban exploration, few cases are as chilling as the infamous locked room mystery. It comes from a young paranormal explorer who set out to document a local haunted location. But when he uploaded the footage, his viewers noticed something terrifying that he had completely missed. A figure was accidentally captured on camera. The disturbing part is the room it appeared in was locked shut. You can clearly see a padlock on the door in the video. To make matters worse, the walls inside were stained with what looked like signs of decomposition, and according to the explorer, the entire area was filled with a foul, sickening stench. That alone is unnerving, but here's where it gets worse. If there truly was a body decomposing inside, you wouldn't expect it to look like what the camera captured. Instead of something lifeless, the figure resembles a ghostly presence, or, even more horrifying, something demonic lurking in the shadows. This case is one of those stories that keeps me awake at night, lying there paranoid, replaying the images in my head. Who or what was in that room? Ever since the COVID pandemic, the world just hasn't felt the same, and strange things keep happening in our skies. One of the most recent examples comes from Tennessee. This footage was recorded by a homeowner in Crossville, Tennessee, and it shows a bizarre phenomenon unfolding overhead. The sky seems to light up with its own strange glow, almost like a cosmic light show, and at the same time, the streetlights below begin flickering uncontrollably. Then, after about 30 seconds, the sky suddenly goes dark again, and the streetlights return to normal. It's unsettling to watch, almost as if some otherworldly force was behind it. But theories about the event are split. Some believe Tennessee could be sitting on a gateway to another dimension, while others point to more logical explanations, like a faulty power line or a transformer sparking, which could also explain the streetlights behaving strangely. Whatever the cause, one thing is certain: the world feels a lot weirder after the pandemic, and moments like this make you wonder if we've only scratched the surface of what's really going on. We've always been told that those mysterious circular formations in fields are man-made and have nothing to do with aliens. But then, how do you explain this? The video, originally uploaded to TikTok, shows something truly bizarre happening in a field. It looks as if an invisible force, or maybe something cloaked, suddenly drops onto the crops, creating a strange circular impression. eerily similar to the crop circles we've seen on TV for decades. Viewers in the comments were split. Some insisted it had to be extraterrestrial, claiming a cloaked UFO must have landed in the field. Others, myself included, leaned toward a different possibility: AI manipulation. Think about it. If something physical really did land, wouldn't the swarm of bugs flying above be disturbed? Yet they move completely undisturbed, almost as if the impact wasn't really there. Whether it's AI trickery or something otherworldly, one thing is certain: this strange clip reignites the debate about the origins of those mysterious circular formations. Mississippi has thick, remote forests, especially in the southern and central areas. Not many people live out there, which makes it easy to believe that something could be hiding. Because of that, there have been rumors for years that this part of Mississippi is where Bigfoot lives. But that idea started to feel a lot more real when snow fell in Mississippi, and a group of hikers found something strange. They discovered a handprint so big, they had no idea what could have made it. Not only was it way bigger than a human hand, but it was even bigger than a human foot. That alone tells us whatever made it was huge. Many people immediately said it had to be Bigfoot. Similar photos of giant handprints have been taken in other parts of the US, but none as clear as this one in the snow. Still, I have to admit, something doesn't add up. Why just one handprint? Where are the footprints? You'd think something that big would leave a whole trail, not just a single print, right? Someone posted a video online claiming it shows a young Bigfoot.
Holy shit!
It was filmed during the day, but the footage is shaky. A small, two-legged creature covered in dark fur suddenly comes out from behind a tree and charges toward the person filming, then quickly runs back into the bushes. Watch it again, but this time in slow motion. I don't know about you, but to me, this almost feels like a setup or a prank. It's just too perfect. Some people think it's doing what's called a bluff charge, something great apes do when they want to scare off a threat. Of course, there are also people who believe this is a young Bigfoot that just hasn't learned how to hide properly yet. What do you think? Which of these sounds most likely? During a 3-day trip in the remote Chilcotin area, some hikers spotted a massive creature. It came out of the forest and ran toward another part of the woods. The creature was so big, it looked huge compared to everything around it.
There he is. God, it's incredible. That's for sure a grizz, right?
That's moving like a wolf.
Did you see its size next to the trees? At first, some people thought it was a bear because of how big it was. But when you look closer at how it moves and what it looks like, it's clearly a wolf. Maybe it's just a really large wolf. But if that's true, then it would be the size of a dire wolf, a giant prehistoric species that's supposed to be extinct. Some even said it might be something supernatural, like a dogman, or maybe even a werewolf. Because if there's one thing we can all agree on, it's that no one's ever seen a wolf this big before. While he was out hiking, this man felt like something was following him the whole time. The grass around him was really tall, so he couldn't see anything. But just as he started to convince himself it was all in his head, just fear or paranoia, something happened that made his blood run cold. Did you see that clear silhouette coming out of the grass? Based on how much of it was sticking out, we can tell it was really tall. So, what do you think? Was it something paranormal, like a ghost or a demon, or just some random guy with too much free time who likes scaring people? If you ask me, the thing looks kinda blurry, like it's made of dark smoke or something. Maybe I'm overthinking it, but I honestly think this man is lucky he made it home safe. A man was staying in a cabin in the woods with some friends when something really creepy happened. As he opened the window to get some fresh air, a strange creature suddenly attacked him. It all happened so fast that even after watching the videos a few times, it's still not clear what really happened. The people who were there say the cabin is deep in the woods, and they're sure no one else was around. So what does that mean? Could it be a skinwalker? Or maybe a demon that protects the forest? Whatever it is, that's up to you to decide. This scary video is going viral online. It shows something that has made a lot of people feel creeped out. The video starts inside a car. First, you see the car's dashboard, then it looks at the side mirror, and then it shows a dark street. All of a sudden, a very strange-looking thing comes out of the dark. It's very thin, with really long, skinny arms and legs. It moves across the street low to the ground, kind of like an animal on 4 legs, but it also looks a bit like a person. Because of the weird way it stands and moves, it makes sense that the person who posted the video called it a demon. It really does look like something from a bad dream. The thing has a strange shape, but maybe it's just a very thin person bending their body in a really odd way. It could be someone playing a prank to scare people. Still, I can't help but think of the descriptions of skinwalkers, rumored to be able to take a human form, yet not entirely identical to a normal human, with visible twists in their body, just like in this case. So, what do you think? Is this just a person playing a prank on passing cars, or is there something more creepy going on? This next video, apparently filmed on a regular train ride, shows something that's just off. Reflected in the glass is a clown, and not just any clown, but one that looks pretty scary, with that painted face and old-fashioned clothes. Now, seeing a clown on a train might be a bit weird on its own. But what makes this extra unsettling is how the reflection behaves. It's almost like it's not a reflection of the clown inside the train with them. It seems to just be there in the window, staring out, almost like it's glitching, or stuck, not quite matching what you'd expect a normal reflection to do. So, what's going on? Is it some kind of trick with the light? Or all the legends around killer clowns are real? What do you think? Alright, this next clip is something else. It's about a discovery that's got a lot of people talking, and maybe even a little creeped out. This is Santiago, a mummy found near the famous Nazca lines in Peru. It's small, but its features are really strange. It has these long 3-fingered hands, a body shape that doesn't look human, and a very unusual, elongated head. The video says it's over 1,000 years old based on scientific tests. And get this, X-rays and CT scans, which are like super detailed medical pictures, supposedly show it has a real skeleton inside. They claimed that it's a biological body, with even human-like fingerprints. Now, the idea of a real, non-human body being found is huge. It makes you wonder. The features, those 3 fingers, that head, are definitely not what we're used to seeing. So, could these be the remains of past visitors from outer space? So a quick search for Nazca Mummies Santiago, or alien mummies, brings up a lot of articles and reports, and it looks like the scientific community has a very different take. It turns out these mummies, including ones very similar to Santiago, have been around for a few years, often promoted by a ufologist named Jaime Maussan. Many archaeologists and scientists, especially from Peru's Ministry of Culture, have investigated these, and the consensus? They are almost certainly fakes. Reports from forensic experts and archaeologists suggest these figures are often cleverly constructed, sometimes using ancient human and animal bones, but rearranged and possibly augmented with other materials like adhesives or plant fibers to create these alien-like features. The 3-fingered hands, for example, have been shown in some cases to be human hands and feet that have been manipulated. It's a good example of how something can look incredibly convincing and mysterious, but when you dig a little deeper and listen to the experts in the relevant fields, a more down-to-earth, though perhaps less exciting, explanation usually emerges. But who knows, maybe somewhere out there, we will find more proof for past visitors from outer space. In a quiet Tibetan village, a group of villagers uncovered something so strange that the entire internet is terrified and is demanding answers. Nestled high on the Tibetan plateau, often called the roof of the world, this region is famous not just for its breathtaking beauty and spiritual calm, but also for something much stranger: sightings of bizarre and unexplained creatures. And what we're about to witness might be the most terrifying proof of that yet. This eerie footage reportedly comes from a remote village near the Tibet-China border, where locals stumbled upon something so strange it left the entire internet in shock. In the video, we see what appears to be a massive humanoid figure lying motionless on the ground. Its face is human-like, framed by wild, matted hair. As the camera pans across its body, we see a thick, gorilla-like torso and unusually large, monstrous feet, like something out of a myth. From the way it looks, many online are calling it a yeti, or perhaps a version of Bigfoot. And honestly, I can see why. But if I switch off my sense of wonder and turn on my logical brain, something feels off. The skin texture, while impressively detailed, almost looks like it's molded from high-grade plastic, like a movie prop left out in the wilderness. Still, that's just my take. Whether this creature is a chilling reality or a very well-crafted hoax, I'll leave that up to you to decide. What do you think? Real beast or just really good makeup? 3 students were taking the elevator back to their apartment, just like they always did. But this time, something was terrifyingly wrong. This video originally appeared on an Instagram reel and was recorded by one of the 3 friends as they were heading home. He was casually filming his friends having a light debate, but what the camera accidentally captured in the background is enough to send chills down your spine. Did you catch that? If not, let me slow it down for you. As the elevator ascends, if you look closely at the small window behind them, you'll notice a creepy figure, a girl, just standing there on one of the floors, staring directly into the elevator as it passes by. None of the students noticed her at the time, but when they later reviewed the footage, they were absolutely terrified. At first glance, she might just look like an ordinary person, but there's something deeply unsettling about the way she's standing there, motionless, eyes locked on the elevator like she was expecting it, or someone in it. The cold, unblinking stare, the eerie timing, and the fact that no one knows who she is or what she was doing there makes it all the more nightmare-inducing. After seeing this, I'm definitely going to think twice before stepping into an elevator alone at night. We've explored only 5% of our oceans, leaving 95% shrouded in mystery. And this next video might reveal the kind of horror that could be hiding in the deep. This footage was uploaded to Instagram by a page called UFO Snapshots, which, as the name suggests, is dedicated to sharing alleged proof of extraterrestrial existence. But this time, what they shared wasn't just a UFO sighting, it was something far more disturbing, and it got the whole internet talking. The video appears to come from a real-time global environmental data visualization tool. On a day in April 2024, it captured what looks like an enormous underwater movement near Antarctica. According to the uploader, this thing was nearly the size of Texas and seemed to be pushing 25-meter-high waves as it moved ominously toward land. What makes this even stranger is what happened afterward. The entire dataset and its history were taken down from the website. Officials later claimed it was nothing but a system glitch, but Instagram commenters weren't buying it. From theories about the Kraken to ancient sea monsters like Leviathan, the speculation went wild. Now, personally, I lean toward the glitch explanation. If a creature that size actually existed, the ocean's water level would be noticeably affected. Not to mention, a being that massive would create catastrophic waves with even the slightest movement. While the video does show strange wave patterns, it's not quite enough to prove that something monstrous caused it. That said, there's always that small possibility that this wasn't just a glitch, but a cover-up. And if that's true, we might be dealing with something a whole lot bigger and a whole lot more terrifying than we're ready for. A Folklore Society member was deep into researching the work of an old Japanese natural historian when he stumbled upon something that shocked the entire world. The discovery was later covered by the New York Post. Hiroshi Kinoshita of the Okayama Folklore Society had been studying the archives of Kiyawaki, a historical Japanese naturalist known for his work on mysterious creatures. But while digging through the records, Hiroshi uncovered something bizarre. He found what appeared to be a mummified creature, roughly 12 inches in length, allegedly caught in the Pacific Ocean near the Japanese island of Shikoku in the early 1700s. Accompanying it was a letter claiming it was the preserved body of a 300-year-old mermaid, once kept inside a temple in the city of Asakuchi. Just by looking at it, you can see why it's so unsettling. It has sharp, predator-like pointed teeth, human-like hands and hair, but the lower body clearly resembles that of a fish, a true hybrid of nightmare fuel. According to Hiroshi, this mermaid might have had religious or cultural significance in Japan. There's even an ancient belief that if someone eats the flesh of a mermaid, they gain immortality. Now, while it definitely looks eerily real, there's another possibility that experts have pointed out. Some believe this could be a man-made artifact, crafted either for export to Europe or to be displayed as a spectacle in Japan. It's possible that someone stitched together the head and torso of a small monkey with the tail of a fish, creating this grotesque fusion to fool the public. But real or fake, one thing's for sure, I wouldn't mess with it. The world is still recovering from COVID-19, and the last thing we need is to unleash an ancient curse or awaken something we don't understand. An Australian cave explorer made a chilling discovery near the South Pole, but what followed 2 weeks later was straight out of a nightmare. This video recently went viral, showing what appears to be a mysterious cave hidden deep in Antarctica. The man behind this discovery was Australian explorer Rodney Marks, who stumbled upon the cave back in 2000 while hiking through the frozen wilderness. But then, something terrifying happened. Just 2 weeks after discovering the cave, Rodney was found dead. The investigation revealed he had died from methanol poisoning, a highly toxic substance commonly found in industrial chemicals like antifreeze and windshield washer fluid. However, some believe it's all a lie. What makes this even more unsettling is that the circumstances of his death remain a mystery to this day. Despite numerous investigations and swirling theories, including the possibility of foul play, no one has ever been held accountable, and no clear explanation has been confirmed. Some say it was an accident. Others believe he discovered something he wasn't supposed to and paid the ultimate price. Thinking about going kayak fishing? You might want to watch this video first, and then think again. This terrifying footage was captured by a group of kayakers in Florida who decided to test the waters, literally, before getting in. For their experiment, they dressed up a dummy with a sweater and a hat, placed it on a kayak, and pushed it into the lake just to see if anything unusual would happen. What the camera captured next was downright horrifying. Out of nowhere, something massive emerges from the water, and in a split second, it lunges and bites the dummy's arm with power. It was a huge crocodile, mistaking the dummy for real human prey. So before you head out with your kayak, take a moment to check the waters. Because out there, you might not be the only one fishing. You might be on the menu. If you believe in angels, then this next video might just be the proof you've been waiting for. Evidence of something far greater watching over us. This clip was uploaded to Instagram and features what appear to be ancient cave petroglyphs, all depicting a humanoid figure with large wings. But here's where it gets truly mysterious. These carvings weren't all found in the same place or time period. In fact, they were discovered thousands of miles apart, across different continents and different centuries. The first petroglyph comes from Fugop Cave in Japan, believed to be around 7,000 years old. The second was found in 9 Mile Canyon, Utah, estimated to be between 1,000 and 2,000 years old. The third was discovered in Gobustan, Azerbaijan, and it's the oldest of them all, dating back over 10,000 years. Despite these massive geographical and chronological gaps, The resemblance between these winged figures is almost identical. That raises one chilling question. How did three ancient civilizations, separated by oceans and millennia, carve the same being into stone? Could it be a shared mythological archetype or something even more extraordinary? A real angelic encounter experienced by multiple cultures? Sure, one carving could be coincidence, maybe even two, but three nearly identical winged figures from three different corners of the world? That starts to feel like a message carved across time. At 3 a.m., a homeowner woke with a gut feeling something was wrong. They checked their ring cam, and what they saw still has them shaken. The footage you're about to see was captured around 3 in the morning, and according to the homeowner, they were jolted awake by a strange, almost instinctive feeling, like something was watching them. So they opened the Ring app, and then this happened. A mysterious figure appears out of thin air, slowly moving, and then, right in front of their eyes, it walks straight through a wooden fence, like it's not even there. The form looks humanoid. You can clearly make out a head and lower body, but the way it phases through solid wood feels like something straight out of a horror film. The homeowner was left completely stunned and confused. Now, could this be a Halloween trick? Maybe. It's that time of year, and people do go all out for a good scare. But here's the thing. The texture of the figure, its movement, and the overall quality of the video look disturbingly real. If it was edited, the person who made this deserves an award. But if it wasn't, well, let's just say, I wouldn't blame the homeowner if they listed the house the next day and never looked back. We've all heard of the Mariana Trench, but what if something even deeper and far more terrifying exists? Welcome to the Kola Super Deep Borehole. Just a week ago, an Instagram account at Morbid Curiosity posted something that shook the entire horror community. The post featured the Kola borehole, a project from the Soviet era that is said to be the deepest hole ever drilled into the earth, going even deeper than the Mariana Trench. For a quick comparison, the deepest man-made ocean hole, drilled off the coast of Japan, goes down about 26,000 feet. But the Kola borehole, it plunges over 40,000 feet into the Earth's crust. That's more than 7.5 miles straight down, closer to the Earth's mantle than anything humanity has ever reached. But that's not even the terrifying part. It's what they heard after lowering a thermal microphone into the shaft back in 1983. In the clip, you can hear blood-curdling screams, like the cries of humans being tortured, tormented, and trapped in agony. Some even claim it sounds like the suffering of souls in hell. Whether you believe in the afterlife or not, these sounds are enough to make your spine crawl. Now, skeptics argue that the audio is a mix of looped sound effects allegedly taken from the 1972 horror movie Barren Blood. And maybe it is. But still, back in the 1980s, when tech wasn't half as advanced as it is today, humans drilled that deep into the earth and somehow recorded this? That alone is unsettling. And now that technology has evolved even further. I can't help but wonder, what happens if we go deeper? Will we hit the mantle? Or something far worse, the gates of hell itself? A group of researchers diving in Lake Michigan discovered something so strange it could rewrite what we thought we knew about ancient history. The video you're looking at shows 2 photographs captured by a research team during an underwater expedition in Lake Michigan. While exploring the lake bed, they came across something mind-blowing, a mysterious stone formation resembling a miniature Stonehenge, with pillar-like rocks arranged in a circle, surrounding a larger central stone. But here's where it gets even crazier. One of the stones appeared to have carvings of a mastodon, an ancient creature that went extinct over 120,000 years ago. And just like that, people began calling it Michigan's Stonehenge. Experts are still debating its origin. Some suggest it may have been used by ancient caribou hunters, while others believe it could have served as a primitive calendar, much like the real Stonehenge. Whatever its true purpose was, one thing is clear. This is a surreal glimpse into a time long before us, buried beneath the waters of one of the Great Lakes. Just imagine 120,000 years of forgotten history, resting quietly underwater, until now. We're looking at images of the Okiku doll, a famous Japanese doll. She's dressed in a traditional kimono, with that distinctive dark bobbed hair and a very blank, almost knowing stare. The legend surrounding Okiku is that she's possessed by the spirit of a little girl who once owned her, and the most famous and creepiest part of the tale is that her hair supposedly continues to grow, just like a living person's, even needing to be trimmed. Just the thought of an inanimate doll's hair growing is enough to give anyone the shivers. That unchanging face, combined with such an unnatural claim, is pure nightmare fuel. But a story this famous and this specific deserves a closer look. The Okiku doll is very real and is housed at the Stonehenge Temple in Hokkaido, Japan. The story goes that the doll was bought in 1918 by a 17-year-old boy named Eikichi Suzuki for his 2-year-old sister, Kikuko, from which Okiku is derived. Tragically, Kikuko died the following year from illness, and the family kept the doll in a household shrine in her memory. They reportedly noticed that the doll's hair, which was originally cut short, began to grow. In 1938, the family entrusted the doll to the Stonehenge Temple, where it remains today. The parts of the legend about trying to burn or bury her and her returning seem to be more folkloric embellishments that add to her mystique, rather than documented events. But many reported strange events around her do indeed happen, like the doll turning and staring at you. Would you dare to have it in your house? A video has been going around the internet lately. It shows waves out in the middle of the sea, far from the shore. The man filming was trying to catch some dolphins on camera, but he had no idea that wouldn't be the only thing he captured. You can clearly see a creature jump out of the water, and it definitely isn't a dolphin. It looks like it has hands. For many people, that was all the proof they needed to say mermaids are real. And honestly, they might have a point. Most of the ocean is still unexplored, and we really have no idea what's down there. But on the other hand, was it really that easy to catch a mermaid on camera and prove they exist? I don't think so. What about you? Do you think this video is real? A man came across a strange creature while out on a walk. He decided to film it, not knowing that the internet would soon claim it was an extinct species from prehistoric times. Many people online said it looked like a baby Arthropleura, a giant prehistoric centipede that lived over 300 million years ago. Arthropleura could grow up to 2.5 meters long, with a hard, segmented body that moved in a creepy, silent way. Science says Arthropleura is extinct, but there are stories of people seeing huge, centipede-like creatures in the deep jungles of Africa. Still, in a time when AI can create almost anything, it's hard to believe something like this. I don't know. This looks more like an AI-generated video to me than a real one. What do you think? A man named Harvey recorded something strange, and it might just give you chills. In the video, you can see a tall humanoid figure standing on top of a mountain in Aguascalientes, Mexico. The video caused chaos on social media. Some people think it could be a giant, or even a Nephilim. According to old legends, Nephilim were giants, the children of the sons of God, and human women. They were said to be powerful and dangerous, and they lived before the Great Flood. Some believe they survived and still exist, hiding in mountains, deserts, or other remote places. There are even claims that Harvey might be in danger for sharing the video. Some say other people have disappeared after posting similar footage. So what do you think? The figure looks way too tall to be a regular person, and the fact that it's standing on a distant mountain only makes it more mysterious. After setting up a security camera on his property, a man expected to catch animals coming by at night, but what he recorded was way more disturbing than that. He believes he caught a real ghost on camera, and honestly, I can see why. The figure, if you can even call it a man, looked almost see-through at times. It even seemed to pass right through the fence without opening it. Of course, this could just be a glitch in the camera frames. So what do you think? Was it a real ghost, or just a tech error? Two friends were enjoying a car ride when they started hearing strange noises coming through the radio. It sounded like some kind of screaming, so they pulled over to the side of the road to see what was going on.
Bro, turn it up right now. Bro, that's screaming on the radio, man. Which man? Bro, what the fuck is that going now?
One of them took out his phone to record, thinking this would just be another little adventure, but he had no idea that just seconds later, he would capture something truly creepy in the woods. Now, to me, this looks more like a prank. Maybe some friends planned it all. One of them hid behind a tree wearing a mask, while the others played creepy sounds through the radio using Bluetooth. It feels so staged that I can't see any other explanation. Okay, maybe it's just a random weirdo hiding in the woods who likes scaring people for fun. That sounds way more real than saying it's some paranormal creature. Still, some people believe this wasn't a prank and that it's not fake at all. So, what do you think? Which side are you on? The Kraken is a massive, terrifying sea monster that looks like a giant octopus or squid. It was said to live deep in the northern oceans. It was so big that sailors believed its tentacles were islands or that its back was an island. The Kraken would suddenly rise from the depths, drag ships under, pull sailors, into the sea, and create whirlpools that swallowed everything nearby. For some, it's just a legend, but many still believe the Kraken is real. What's creepy is that people from all over the world have reported Kraken sightings, and once you see the creatures they've photographed, you'll understand why.
In the water, guys, can you guys see that? There's something actually in the water.
In every one of these photos, you can clearly see massive tentacles, even though the Kraken's body stays hidden. Just imagine you're out on a boat in the middle of the night, and in the distance, you see a pair of giant tentacles rising from the water. Creepy, right? Climate change is a harsh reality, impacting us more and more each year. But the consequences extend far beyond humans, as evidenced by the tragic fate of these birds. In February 2016, Nate Finney embarked on an ice fishing trip in Watertown, South Dakota. What awaited him wasn't a peaceful day on the lake, but a shocking scene: a mass die-off of snow geese. The video captures a heartbreaking sight. Around 1,000 birds frozen into the lake's surface, some in lines, others huddled together. These majestic creatures, meant to soar through the sky, met a tragic end, encased in ice. The cause of this avian catastrophe? Sudden and dramatic temperature drop. The water temperature plummeted from a relatively mild temperature to something extremely cold. I am not exactly sure why, but more sources mentioned this. This extreme shift proved deadly for the birds, leading to their mass demise and their final resting place within the frozen lake. These unfortunate birds never stood a chance. Their fate serves as a stark reminder of the devastating impact climate change can have on entire ecosystems. The unsettling feeling of dread that creeps in when we're alone is a primal instinct for a reason, as this video from a young man home alone chillingly demonstrates. This isn't a scene from a horror movie, but a supposedly real capture from Thailand. The video shows a dimly lit bathroom with a sink in the foreground. But what sends shivers down your spine are two tiny legs protruding from beneath the sink, suggesting a small child hiding there. The cameraman, understandably terrified as he's home alone, cautiously approaches the sink. Just as he reaches it, the legs vanish and there is no one in there. Was it a ghost or some other kind of spirit? This undeniably spooky clip is like something straight out of a nightmare. One thing's for sure, after witnessing this, the cameraman's family will likely take his claims of ghosts in the house a lot more seriously. What was supposed to be a normal routine flight turned into a full-blown nightmare scenario for one helicopter pilot flying over New Jersey. This eerie footage dates back to December 2024, when it surfaced online and quickly went viral. It was captured by a helicopter pilot mid-flight over New Jersey, when he suddenly spotted something that defied all logic. As he was cruising through the skies, a strange glowing light started to pulse within the clouds, almost like an explosion trying to break free. The light wasn't static either. It kept shifting in size and brightness, flickering wildly like a living flame trapped in the sky. And according to the pilot, just before the glow appeared, he had noticed a bright orange orb hovering in the same direction. The internet had a field day with theories. Some viewers claimed it was a divine warning or even a sign of Jesus returning. Others went all in, calling it a battle between angels hidden behind the clouds. But the most reasonable explanation so far, it might have been a rare case of cloud-to-cloud lightning discharge, creating an illusion of a fiery sky battle. Even if that's true, it doesn't make it any less terrifying from the pilot's perspective. Imagine flying through the sky, and it suddenly starts glowing like a portal just opened. For more interesting footage, check this out.